This is Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement with Mark Cordner, the podcast.
You know, Social Security, it's been kind of all over the place for a while now, lots of speculation of its future. And I saw a disturbing article talking about, coming problems with Social Security. They say if nothing's done, benefits will be cut back to 25% in the year 2035. Nobody wants to tackle this issue right now, of course. The article contends that, waiting till 2035 is the same as trying to change the course of the Titanic after it already hit the iceberg. We know how that turned out. So if it's going to be too late, what can we do now to kind of safeguard ourselves against these possible reductions?
Oh, there's a number of things we can do, but I think the first thing we do is we don't panic. A couple corrections are, Congress absolutely has been napping. The current presidential candidates are both talking about basically kicking this problem, the can down the road, as it were. They don't want to deal with it during the next term. It absolutely is a problem, but we do know from history that even with these 25% reductions being threatened, that we've faced times like this before. I think back when, I was graduating high school in 1983, we had Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan who came together for that great compromise because Social Security was in a similar predicament then. Now, mind you, this was 40 years ago. But what they did was they came together and they decided to make fundamental changes to Social Security, one of which was the postponing of a full retirement benefit. And so full retirement age, as they declared it, went from age 65 progressively to age 67. And they can do that same thing again in the future. Really, if they index Social Security to our life expectancy, it really shouldn't start paying out until age 70. And I think that's absolutely where they're going to go. In 1983, they also introduced the taxation of Social Security benefits. Prior to that time, Social Security was not taxable for our grandparents, but for us, it's now up to 85% taxable. I'm quite convinced that it'll be fully taxable here in the future. But the good news is that when they talk about these changes, they're typically talking about people that are under the age of 50 being affected. Those of us who are over the age of 50, who are honing in, as it were, on this crossing the finish line, as it were, into Social Security, we're pretty much safe in the sense that that's just too much of a political hot potato to pull that benefit away from people right on the cusp of needing it, who have planned on it. So I'm absolutely convinced changes are coming. I'm also convinced that Congress will be forced to step up to the table. They'll do it. We can't get rid of Social Security. They won't get rid of it. But unfortunately, I fear that they're going to just keep dragging their feet until the final hours, as it were, and cause way too much stress and trepidation for too many people. But the good news is we can do an analysis for people. We invite folks in. We'll do a free Social Security analysis for you, help you understand what your options are under the current system. There's over 500 different ways that a married couple can claim, and there's a number of considerations, and what on its face may be best mathematically may not be the best answer for you individually. The majority of Americans claim at age 62. Mathematically speaking, that's absolutely not in their best interest, but people do it because they want to have money in hand, as it were. They're fearful that this program is going to go away. There's a lot more considerations than that, especially for married couples. So again, we just say, come on in. We'll do a Social Security analysis for you. We have sophisticated software that can look at your considerations, can show you the impact of claiming early, can show you the impact of having a public pension, all these different things. So just come on in. We'll help you with it.
Well, if you were out and about enjoying your summer so far with the family get-togethers, the vacations, the travel, you name it, I know that for the most part, a lot of folks are thinking, I'll do the financial thing when I get back. Well, I recently read an article that points out that before the year gets away, summertime. So right now, it's a good time to have that mid-year financial checkup. So, Mark, what are some quick items that we need to be aware of here?
No, that's great. I'm in total agreement on that. I don't think we have to get neurotic about reviewing our finances, but yes, periodically we need to stop. For me, I do it on Independence Day and New Year's Day are two key days for me. I do it more frequently than that, but those are the big days where I put things aside and I actually review. And I would say that there's a number of issues for most people we work with. One is reviewing how are you doing in your 401k? Are you putting the maximum you can in there? Are there ways you can perhaps have that 401k at work perform better? Are you getting all the match you can get from the employer? Are you aware, for example, of the changes that took place January 1st of this year in 401k plans that allow you not only to put money into a Roth 401k, but have your employer's match go into the Roth channel of that plan. A lot of people don't realize these things are possible. They don't realize that, you hit age 59 and a half, you can take control of the money in your 401k through what's called an in-service rollover, which gives you the ability to roll money out of your plan while still staying in the service of that particular employer. And then you got a whole universe of investment options, and you have Roth conversion options, and all these things you can do once you have control of that money. So absolutely, we need to review the 401k. We need to review what are your plans for future healthcare issues, specifically long-term care. Are we going to need a transition? If you're retiring early, are we going to need a transition and have some kind of private health insurance in there? There's a number of issues related to healthcare. Certainly, how are your investments allocated? What's happening with the wealth in your home? There's ways to maximize the equity in your home. And certainly reviewing the estate plan, because things happen, divorce, death, there's just changes in family circumstances. Hopefully it's positive things like the birth of a grandchild. But all these things necessitate updating not only the financial plan, but also the estate plan. So, yeah, mid-year is a great time, not just in July, throughout the year. Make sure you meet at least once or twice each year with your financial advisor. I know it gives a lot of relief to my clients. Literally, I have a couple appointments later today with clients where we're doing just that. We're just reviewing where they're at.
Mark, for those that are going to come in for the first time for this portfolio review and financial checkup, do I need to bring every statement I've ever been sent? Do I just bring myself and my partner? How does that work?
Well, the most important thing is bringing your partner if you have one, because it's so critical that everyone be on the same page. So that's the first privilege and expectation. To the degree you can bring financial documents, that's certainly helpful to better understand. What I find is that many people don't fully understand where their money's at or how it's titled, and the way that the accounts are titled makes a world of difference. So, is it Roth? Is it traditional IRA? Is it non-IRA money, for example? Is it a non-qualified tax-deferred plan? I mean, there's all sorts of these considerations that clients often are not aware of. And so to the degree we can see the statements, we can certainly be more precise, because what I like to do is lay things out on a whiteboard. We'll do an analysis of where are your assets now, where are the particular dangers that you have to how your money is positioned, what are you overlooking, and then what are the strengths about what you're doing, so we can build off of those strengths and fill the gaps in a plan. That's one of my favorite things, is getting people in for that first visit and just being able to put things out there visually for them so that they can see, oh my, I've done better than I thought, or oh my, I really need to get a little more serious about this. So it's always eye-opening, and the worst-case scenario I always say is you make a new friend, but you'll absolutely get greater clarity on where you're at financially.
Investment advisory service is offered through Golden Years Financial LLC, a registered investment advisory firm. Insurance is offered through Golden Years Insurance Services. These firms do not provide legal or tax advice. Consult your own legal and tax advisors before taking actions that may have tax implications. Investing in securities involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Insurance contracts' principal protection is based on the claim-paying ability of the respective insurer. None of the information contained on this website shall constitute an offer to sell or solicit to buy a security or insurance product. The information and opinions contained on this site or requested from this site are provided by third parties believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. They are provided for informational purposes only and are not a solicitation to buy or sell any of the products mentioned. Any media logos and/or trademarks contained herein are the property of their respective owners, and no endorsement by those owners of Mark Cordner, Golden Years Financial, or Golden Years Insurance is stated or implied.